Uh, a great shame.
Oh
It's
man, they
about
couldn't hear me.
to
See, I was
go
just saying it.
down.
I was just saying I didn't know if they could hear me or not. But we back, we here. Look, I'm not gonna dust off. I don't know. I'm pretty sure y'all didn't expect to see my cartoon face, but unfortunately for you, I'm here. So let me introduce myself. What's good, y'all? As I like to say, if it's your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. I am Dallas Man of Level1Gaming.com, here with the good brother Johnny Man. What's good with you, Johnny?
That's me. Welcome,
Oh man. So
man. We almost didn't make this episode happen. As you can tell, someone else is here in place of our beloved co-host who couldn't be with us this evening.
oh yeah.
Everybody
Baron Flake six
put an
seven. I
F in the
mean,
chat.
Baron J six. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, I said Baron Flake 6'7". That's his name today, because he should be here.
It certainly is. I know. And Dallas was like, you guys got to have a StarCross this week. It's
It's
like
gotta happen.
tradition. So I was like, all right, fine. I was playing Elden Ring all night, but I can make this work just for you, Dallas.
Yeah, man. Actually, I really wanted to play Elden Ring too, but Baron was like, "No, I'm the only one allowed to play video games tonight." So that's where we at. So, so we're gonna start this off
The
like a
rest of you must suffer at my expense.
man. So we're gonna start this off like a Lil Wayne mixtape.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
And that's when the music dropped. Gangsta Grizzlies. Hey, I'm a little more hyped than I should be at the moment because it's it's been a day, and I'm exhausted. And then I ended up crashing and waking up to a bunch of crazy stuff. And one of those things was like Will Smith slapping the pure dog shit out of out of Chris Rock. And I
I
didn't
know this is almost breaking news.
breaking.
For if you're watching live.
Yeah. And I'm not one for like a whole like drama thing, so it's not what this is about to be about. I ain't even plan on mentioning it, but I just saw it pop up in my feed again just now, and like I mean, you gotta address the elephant in the room. I'm not, I'm not gonna say he deserved it, but
Unless you get neuralized.
I'm not gonna say he deserved it. Oh, unless you get, oh, I see what you did there. But I understand, I get it, and I'm one of those people that's defensive about the people close to me too. I'm defensive about my family, especially my girl. So like, I gotta say, I would have. I will show restraint because if it was me, like in that position and knowing, understanding how he must feel, I'm pretty sure he wanted to beat the shit out of him. Like instead, he opted for disrespecting him on live TV. So yeah, it kind of is what it is. That being said, like I said, we weren't supposed to talk about that. I just saw it pop up in my feed and commented. Flameser, what's good with you, homie? Listen, as you probably can see, the title of this bullshit ass episode that you were so unfortunate to catch on this lovely night is Nerd Questions Answered. Because every now and then I get like a feed of like nerd things, like questions and comments and just interesting conversation pieces. And Johnny's one of those people I like to talk about this stuff with. Um, so I figured we do that. But first and foremost, before we even go there, we're gonna turn this into y'all's last podcast or to y'all last few podcasts messing with Baron. Um, and I'm probably gonna talk about Elden Ring a little bit. But before I do that, what you been playing, Johnny?
Man, what have I been playing? You know, shockingly, there's only one game I've been playing, and that's been Skyrim. You know, I got the bug, and it's got me by the scruff, and I just couldn't help myself. I'm playing Skyrim in 2022
And that's the only game you playing right now. We definitely live in a
for now.
society.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what like 100 mods can do to the game.
Oh, okay. So, of course, obviously, you playing on PC. Um, what
Yes.
mods do you run? Like,
Well,
what your are you a are you a practical guy that runs all the quality of life stuff, and you just want everything to be as updated as possible, and you want it to run like you playing it on PC, or are you one of those guys that do crazy absurd shit like make the Dragon's Thomas the Tank engine and stuff like that, or are you a mixture of both and you just run with whatever you feeling like?
I like to keep. Oh, who is that? Anyways, I like to keep my mods semi-real. What's it called? Immersive. So no Thomas the Tank engines flying around. Uh, a
You're
lot
not
of them,
immersed in
like
PBS?
some no, no,
Oh, that was quick.
but
He was like, nope,
a
hell
lot
no.
of them, nah. As soon as they made the faces move and stuff in animation, I pieced out. Um,
Is it that creepy to you?
it is like it's a stark contrast and one that should never have been made.
It's more
That's my hot
terrifying.
take.
It's more terrifying by going toe to talon with an actual dragon. Like, is more
Honestly,
scary to
more
you in the game?
so.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
Oh
But
yeah,
I do understand.
when you know, you hear the dragons like roar or whatever you'd call it. You hear like the trolls do the same thing. You get used to it, but when you have a sword and maybe the ability to cast fireball, will you ever get used to a flying tank engine? Blowing its whistle out in the distance.
I got.
I don't think so.
I
You
feel
know.
you. I feel you on that because it's not even no track here. And they already made a game about a scary train with like a clown face and spider legs, and that's kind of what I feel like Thomas the Tank Engine in Skyrim would feel like. And I refuse to try it, so I wanted to see if you did.
No, I mean, I don't even know where that mod is. It's not on the website that I use for mods, so I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But like, I'll give you three mods that I use.
Okay.
Um, the unofficial Skyrim patch, which is like the most downloaded mod out there, which just fixes all of the game breaking bugs that were still in the game. Uh, one other one I have is a DLC sized mod called Beyond Skyrim Bruma, which lets you go back to Cyrodiil, which
Oh,
you get to visit in Oblivion, which is pretty cool because you
so
haven't
it's like
seen it in 200 years.
Sky Oblivion.
Kind of. I'm pretty sure Sky Oblivion is using the Beyond Cyrodiil Bruma's like layout or something. I could be wrong. I didn't really read into that too much.
Okay.
And the final mod is follower overhaul, which you can have a whole little army of best friends all in Daedric armor, which is pretty fun.
Okay.
It kind of breaks the game balance, but I'm with it.
Do you have
I'm
like
the
a?
Dragonborn. I can command an army.
Of course. I mean, what else would you do? Do you Let me see. So we spoke about this before. The last time I played Skyrim, I think was like in 2020. Um, and I like to run a bunch of crazy stuff. I like to like just basically do everything I possibly can. So I might run up on you, dual wielding axes, or I might run up on you like with healing in one hand and like fire in the other. Um, do you have like a go-to build that you mess with?
Well, everybody's go-to is always stealth archer by the end of the game, as I'm sure you're aware. But this particular playthrough, I've made it my effort to actually get into magic and be a mage because we always say, let's run a mage this time, but always fizzles out. Like your mana after three spells. But it's very frustrating because I'm playing on master, which is the highest difficulty apart from legendary, which is just not fair. Just play on master. But when your firebolt deals like a 20th of the damage and they have the ability to one shot you with basically everything, it does become pretty interesting where you do your burst damage until your mana is drained and then you have to use up all your stamina running away from them.
Man. And it's crazy because now that you say that, I feel like that's a good segue to the next thing I was gonna talk about. Since we got um, my soul's coach Flames are in the chat right now, and Baron is probably half paying attention while either kicking ass or getting his ass kicked. Uh,
Mhm.
I wasted a lot of stamina running around, like running away from certain things or rolling away rather. I'm still trying to get rid of the reflex of panic rolling. I've actually been playing a fair amount of Elden Ring, right? And I know, surprise, surprise.
Sure.
Um, and I mean that sarcastically and non-sarcastically because on one hand, um, everybody's playing Elden Ring, so no surprise there. But on the other
I'm not.
hand, almost everybody. Johnny is always the exception to the rule, so it's really like saying that um, he's not playing Skyrim while everybody else is playing. Like he's not playing Skyrim in 2013. Like so, I get it. Um, but I've been running a fair amount of Elden Ring. Like I haven't had a ton of time to play games, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis. I mean, I play Elden Ring. So I know
Mm-hmm.
Baron has been all over it, and I don't really take Baron as like the Master Souls gamer or whatever. But I know that he enjoyed the beta so much. I don't know. I don't think they actually called it a beta, but like the preview, he enjoyed that so much that he hopped in. He was our like Elden Ring guy for a while, right? Um, how long is it gonna take before it's in the bushes? Listen, okay, I guess that's a good time for me to give y'all a brief history of my FromSoft career, right? So, and when I say brief history, I'll start from the beginning. I was actually a giant fan of like the Tenchu games, right? I was a giant fan of those games, and my favorite one was Wrath of Heaven, and I ran it on PlayStation 2 a lot. Like Stealth Assassins on PS1 was cool, but Wrath of Heaven was my favorite, right? Um, Fast forward a little more, the Armored Core games was my shit, and it is Armored Core is the Dark Souls. I know it's a meme, but it literally is. I'm not even playing. It's the Dark Souls of mech games, right? So if like you like the giant robot stuff, if you're a Gundam fan, if you like that type of shit, um, like it's the Souls like version of that, like down to how you spec out, down to like it's a lot more attention paid to your resources, like because you got to spend a certain amount of money to get your resources to go out on a mission, right? And you ammo costs money, parts cost money, and then you never know what you might need. You never know what type of monkey wrench they gonna throw in your plans when you get out on a mission. So you got to be ready for what you can be ready for, and you get out there and you do the full, right? Um, Past that, I like missed out on Demon Souls. I missed out on Dark Souls 1 through 3. I bought Bloodborne physically, and I think I got it digitally too, and I just didn't play it. Like I played it, and I didn't get into it for whatever reason. It just I didn't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It didn't grab me, and then I started playing Sekiro. Beat a ton of bosses. I actually got fairly far in Sekiro. I had a lot of fun with it, and then I put it down. And by the time I moved over to Dark Souls 3, I realized that my issue with FromSoft games is if I'm playing that game, it has to be the only game that I'm playing, or I will be trash at it. Like I can't play another. And then I'm cross-platform, so I play my Switch a fair amount. I play Xbox, I play PC, and I play PlayStation. And the X button is in a
Mhm.
different place on every last one of these, every last one of these things.
Oh
And
yeah.
and so it kind of is. If I'm not consistently playing one, then the other won't be like, yeah, I won't be great with the other. Just cross console, and you have to like give the utmost attention and the utmost respect to like FromSoft games. So to not make this boring, I played I played Dark Souls 3, and I was having my fun with it, and then other games came out. I was playing Metroid Dread, which was so fire. I was playing I just played a lot of shit. But when Elden Ring dropped and I finally decided to give it a chance, I don't know what it is. It's like this is baby's first Souls game in some ways, and in other ways it's an ass kicker, and I just can't put it down. And there's something about it that just makes every other like FromSoft game that I hadn't been playing opened up for me. Like I feel it. Now I get it. It kind of like it's a good way to induct a person who's interested in the culture, because it is a culture in and of itself. That subgenre is a culture in and of itself. It's a great way to induct people into the culture of these types of games. Like I don't care about the difficulty. I don't mind it being hard because like I go I don't know. It's just it's hard for me to explain. Um, but
So we're advocating for easy mode.
hell no, no, because I feel like if there was a if let me tell you why. If I feel like personally, if there was an easy mode in this game, because I've spoken on easy mode in games just like in general, so I won't go on that tangent. But in Elden Ring in particular, it wouldn't be the same game. Like you need to go out and it's a thing. There's something about discerning whether or not you can beat something, or whether to like grind it out, like whether to stay and just keep getting your ass whooped until you figure it out, or dip off and do some grinding and come back when you're stronger. Like for example, when you lead a tutorial, right, and you see the gold dude on the horse, and you like this sentinel dude, like this man is he a G, but I can take him. You try to like do all you can, and he just murders you each and every time, and you get torrent. And so you start riding around. You're like, now I got a mount. Yeah, I'm much more real than I was. I've been specking into strength or whatever the hell it is you doing as a hero. Which I chose the warrior. But that's neither here nor there. And you like, oh, I got him. I'm much more real than I was when I started. And then you get your ass whooped again. Like, at what point do you come back? And at what point do you stand your ground? And that's I would say a mechanic. That's a whole thing in and of itself, right? He said many people agree that Elden Ring is the most accessible Souls game. No need for an easy mode. Exactly, it's accessible as hell without going out of its way to be easy. Accessibility don't always mean that the difficulty is not there. It just means that you are more equipped to take on said difficulty. So,
Yeah.
so just kind of a bit
When it
about. You say what?
I was just gonna say quickly that on the topic of difficulty, I feel like they, the developers really know their audience when it came to, Dark Souls, and then by extension Elden Ring,
Mm-hmm.
and they really understand like the get good culture, because it's a thing, it's been around, it just new player comes in, oh man, this looks cool, dies, get good scrub, and I just find it funny that perhaps the greatest challenge in Elden Ring is not to defeat a tree sentinel, to defeat insert other difficult boss name here. It is in fact to find a maiden.
Oh man, most of y'all maidenless in real life, but that's neither here nor there. For the people that are Souls like players, and
Get good IRL scrub.
for the people that's been playing this game, like just been playing Elden Ring in particular, I guess you'll understand what I'm getting at when I say okay. So you'll understand who I'm talking about when I talk about these enemies, right? I'll give you an example. So the ever goals,
Yeah.
like the little things that you have to go and like you get like a mini boss fight or whatever. I was getting toasted by certain mini bosses. That cat thing, that stone
Hmm.
cat thing that I don't know the name of, it beat my ass quite a few times before I figured it out. And I left and I came back with a summon, thinking that it was gonna do something for me. Like I'll split his attention and I'll be fine. Nah, it didn't work out. But eventually, I just buckled down and learned its move set, and learned not to panic roll and kind of roll with the punches, so to speak. And I beat it, right? So now I'm feeling myself a little more. Pause once again, and I'm thinking I got this figured out a little bit, right? I can take on other things. I went and fought that first tree sentinel, beat him. Great. My chest is out now. I'm good. I got this. Like, all right, so I get to one of the ever goals. I think it's the something hound. Um, the guy that you get the fang. I don't even remember the name of the sword. I feel like I should pull up the game now. But I get to that first like little ever goal, and I fight it, and it murders me. and I fight it a few more times, and it murders me again. So I just go off and do more stuff, run around Limgrave a little bit more. I came back to it, and after a grueling battle, finally took it down. Finally got its weapon. I can't wield it. My strength is too low. All right, cool. That's fine. I found another weapon that I really like, and now that I can actually wield that blade, I don't even use it because I've been using the twin blades, and I like them so much more. So fast forward a little while, I'm talking to my brother who's been playing the game since launch. He pre-ordered it, and I was like 2 weeks or so late, so I'm 2 weeks or so behind him in progression. I tell him about that fight, and you know how I finally beat it, and he was like, huh. Little do you know, that's a normal enemy. Wait, what? Like, what are you saying? Yeah, later on down the line, he's just a regular dude. This boss that you was getting your ass whooped by, yeah, he ain't no boss. Like, you mean, and that's the game. Like, you progress, you fight, you get whooped, then you progress more, you get good, then you start doing the whooping. And then later on, you find out that that thing that you whooped wasn't as special as you thought it was, and you're not as cold as you thought you were. And as much as one might think that that's a demoralizing thought, it's not. Because my motto, I've been telling my girl this. She sat next to me, watching me get whooped and do some whooping. And my motto for Elden Ring is, I'm a lot of things, but I ain't no bitch.
No, you're quite right.
I'm a lot of things, but I ain't no bitch. And so that's the motto for Elden Ring. And as long as you keep that in mind, I think you fine. Like that's literally the motto. So just to fast forward a little bit more, just to show my get goodism, I fought at this point. I ended up fighting Margit. Is that his name? The first boss, like the first real skill check of the game. I got whooped a bunch of times, and I beat him finally after like however many tries. Right. Eventually, I ran through Stormvale Castle. Thought I beat everything because I beat some type of boss there, and my brothers are telling me, nah, you need to go fight Godric. You haven't beat Stormvale Castle until you beat Godric. That's the first real boss. That's who you really gonna get it in with. My brother's telling me about how like he'll get whooped by a boss, then he'll go call his big brother. He'll go get somebody he'll go summon somebody to run with him. Once he gets bullied, he calls his big brother. They usually win. So this morning, the first thing I did when I woke up was I'm going to go find and defeat Godric. That was my mission of the day, and it's the first thing I started to do when I woke up early this morning, right? So I go find Godric. I get that cutscene. He's petting the dragon. He's like, yes, you're going to lend me your power. And I'm like, oh, man. He takes off the cloak, and you see all the arms, and every arm got at least 6 fingers on. Every hand's got at least 6 fingers on it, right? And my girl's looking at him like, ugh, what the hell is that? And I'm like, right. And I look at her, and as the fight's getting ready to start, I summon my little summon because I know, I'm going to need his attention to be split at least long enough for me to read his moveset and kind of learn what I'm getting myself into. And I looked at my girl, and I told her, listen, I'm a lot of things, but I ain't no bitch. And I run in, Leroy Jenkins style, right? And it's on. The fight starts. So I'm rolling.
Perfect.
He's jumping in for a big dude with all these arms and like all this weight on him. He's a pretty nimble guy, right? He's jumping, wind is whipping everywhere. He's flipping around. And at this point, like I said, I'm not no bitch. So I learned his combos. He swings, and he's that final swing of the combo. I don't get away. I roll into him, as you should do, right? I roll into him, and I'm standing right next to him. Half my health is gone. Drink a flask real fast, standing right next to him, because I ain't no bitch. So I get my health back, get a few hits in, and I'm noticing I got him almost at half health. And then another cutscene comes in, and he rips the head off the dragon and attaches it to his arm that he accidentally sliced into, and so decided to take off all the way. And now he got a whole dragon attached to his arm. He's swinging fire all around the place. And I only got 1 flask left. I can't really do much else. Mind you, I started with like 6. And I only got 1 left. And I can't do much else. And this dragon is just as much not a bitch as I am, right? So I got burnt a couple times. I'm rolling. I'm moving. I'm stepping back when I need to step back. I'm stepping in when I need to step in. And I notice I got him at like a quarter health. And I'm like, you know what? I could take him. I can do this. And as everybody is expecting, I know everybody's thinking, yeah. And then next thing you know, he swung and that dragon spit fire on the ground and you got burned and that was it and you died. No, I actually beat Godric my first time. My first try.
Wow.
I murdered him on my first try with like one flash to spare. That's what getting good
I'm
feels.
clapping for you, my
I'm
friend.
like, let's go. My girl looking at me like, you got him. I'm like, yeah, man. She don't even care about video games, and she was into it, right? And I beat him my first try, and I'm like, this is what getting good feels like. I'm now addicted. I'm now hooked. Like I really like
You've ascended.
I really liked the game before, but I was thinking like Flames was thinking like, when are you going when is this game gonna be in the bushes? I'm stuck now. I really beat Godric on my first try, and I'm like, this is. And you know what's crazy about it? At the time, I went to I did this at somebody else's house, right? My Xbox wasn't connected to the internet, and I tried to like save the footage, and I couldn't. Like, and so I don't even have proof
Oh,
that this happened. That's what all I have is my achievement. Like all I have is my achievement, so I can prove that I beat him, but not that I beat him on my first try. But y'all just gonna have to take my word for it, cause I ain't got no reason to lie. But I'm like I'm hooked now. Like I can't stop playing the game now. I at least have to beat every other boss. Like I at the
no,
very least
quite
have to
right.
finish the story.
And just to make you feel even better about your tremendous victory, um, Baron probably beat him with a bubble cannon. So
I seen that.
you being the Giga Chad warrior, my hat is off to you, sir.
I beat him using I beat him using the twin blades that I got like at the beginning of the game. And it
Oh,
might be +3. They might be +3 or +4 at this point. And it was really just like timing. You learn his moves kind of, but at the same time, like once I stopped panic rolling and I just learned how like when he swings, you move this way. I learned when to get away from the big AOE attacks. I learned when to like roll into him and get close enough for him not to be able to hit me. And it happened. And I just stayed focused on the moment to moment within that fight. I didn't let like fear get the best of me. I didn't let the panic of I only got a sliver of health left and I need to heal and when can I get away? I didn't let that get to me, and that was it. And that moment of that let's go moment, like that's what it feels like to get good.
it didn't hurt that you had the power of both God and anime on your side.
I did, and the power of friendship is so strong.
Of course. Because, I mean, we wouldn't be here today without that summon, right?
Oh man. Oh, the summon that I ended up using was the jellyfish, and I think he like +2 or +3, but that bleed effect is so strong on him, like so strong. And so yeah, that's where
Man,
I am as far as Elden Ring goes. So I finished Thornvale Castle completely. I'm now at where am I? I finished Castle Morn. So I fought the thing that gives you the Game of Thrones sword is what I've been calling it. I'm at maybe y'all can help me out. Flames or Baron, what place is it? What castle is it where you go in and you immediately start getting like snuck up on by giant hands with way too many fingers? Like that's where I am right now.
oh,
Yeah, giant
are
hands.
you playing like, are you playing like Don't Starve or something?
It's that's in Don't Starve too.
Is it Don't Starve? Uh, the, I hope I'm thinking of the right thing. Don't Starve, Don't Starve, Don't Starve.
It's Don't
Oh, yeah,
Starve
yeah, yeah.
is the game
They
that
have
like
it at night.
hmm,
Yeah, it is. So, the Don't Starve is like the,
Carrier
um,
Manor. You're right, Walt. Appreciate you. Carrier Manor. That's where I
yeah,
am now.
that's right. Carry a manor.
You're
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was right. Don't Starve is the game where at night, like the hands would come out of the shadows to try and extinguish your campfire to
Yeah,
kill you.
yeah. Did they have like the correct amount of fingers, or were they like like the ones I'm going against?
I believe it was 5, but it was like a demon hand, so they're all like claw and like super long.
Oh, that's nasty. That's
I
super
haven't played
nasty.
Don't Starve in the longest time. 2016, man.
Yeah. Wait, that's when it came out.
No, that's the last time I played it.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. So the actual name of this episode was Nerd Questions Answered, because I had a couple nerd questions, and like I said, every now and then I get messages or emails or whatever with like a bunch of nerd stuff in it. And they just fun conversation topics, right?
Of
Um,
course.
so here's one of them. As soon as my page loads, um, and everybody's welcome to answer these, by the way. But Batman is put on trial for his vigilante actions. What would his defense be?
I'm Batman.
You think that'll work? You think they'll be like, you know what? He got a good point. Let him be. You think? Do you think his track record? Do you think his just the fact that he's basically successful in stopping these villains, even if he don't kill him, he just send them to Arkham. Do you think his success record with villain defeats actually would help him?
In a legal case, no, but it would help him? Uh, Joker kidnapping the judge's daughter and then Batman saving him right before the trial.
Oh man, and
That would definitely be a. And that's exactly how it would play out.
that's exactly how it would go. And then Batman being Batman, I mean, granted, he's a hero, but also low key a sociopath. He could actually orchestrate all of that shit on his own. Like he could make Joker somehow think he should go and kidnap the judge's daughter and shit. Like that could be a thing. I mean,
Like
Joker probably would do it of his own volition, but
it was an anonymous leak to Joker's PO box. That that would be an interesting target to take out.
Also, if you think about the fact that, I mean, besides he's vengeance, um, do you think Batman is beyond blackmail? Because I mean, it's Gotham, right? So everybody is corrupt, including and especially the judge, right? He used to be best friends with the DA in some versions of the lore, so I'm sure he knows law inside and out, especially considering of all the things that he learned, of all the disciplines that he learned. You don't think, because the fact that he has to run Wayne Enterprises as well, you don't think he learned, he went to law school at some point, or you don't think he learned everything he would need to learn to defend himself from people knowing that he's Batman? He got a contingency for everything, and the contingency you think would be most appropriate for a person like Bruce Wayne, who's also a mass vigilante, would be, what am I going to do if people find out that I'm Batman? Because you can't just be like, well, nobody will find out. Yeah, I think he probably a good ass lawyer and by himself, and he'd be able to get out of that. And like,
If he doesn't have a lawyer himself, could he see? Imagine this one, right? He approaches none other than Two-Face, and he's like, "Listen here." I forget his name because I'm not the biggest fan, but let's flip a coin. If it's heads, you represent me in this trial. If it's tails, I'll tell you my true identity. And then, of course, because it's like Batman, it'll be heads. But it's too good a wager to pass up.
yeah. So, yeah, there's that. Like, I think all things considered, with the corrupt system, he got too much money. He could probably just pay the judge off and keep it moving. Like, when you really
I
think about
mean,
it,
ultimately, that's what it boils down to, yeah.
like, yeah, he could probably just pay the
But
judge
would he
off.
do that, or would it be out of character?
Uh, I mean, when it comes down to protecting your secret, Like I think his logic would be something along the lines of, listen, if I'm not Batman no more, if I can't continue to be Batman, then the world in Gotham especially gets a lot worse. So I got to do what I got to do.
If I'm exposed, there will no longer be justice in Gotham, and for that reason, I have to kidnap the judge's daughter myself.
Ah, you think
I
he would
mean,
do that?
that's you know, that's the first step down a very dark path.
Oh man,
And
so
then you find yourself Batman's like theme song is replaced with a knockoff Imperial March, and you just start viciously beating someone in an alleyway for the fun of it.
I mean, low key, probably doing it for the fun of it anyway. Um, and Flames is right. He would do it for the greater good, quote unquote, greater good. He might.
Well, actually, I mean, didn't I don't know what cartoon it was, but like Justice League or whatever. Didn't he create like a whole database of like the weaknesses on how to take out the entirety of the Justice League, including himself?
He did.
So surely he's not above selfless acts. So wouldn't he just turn himself in?
Uh, it depends. Would he believe that like shit would just get worse if he wasn't Batman? I don't think he'd be at the stage of,
Uh,
because I don't think he'd be at the stage of like at no point did he really open up and go, you know what, I might be the reason for all these villains. Everybody's just following the example of the Batman. I don't think he's at that level of self awareness. Even if he might be, I don't take him to be one that would act on it in that way.
I don't. Maybe it depends on which universe you're in, or which like iteration of Batman you're dealing with.
It might.
Because what if you have Russian Batman from
Red Sun.
Rising, Red Sun,
Red Sun.
Red Sun? Well, I mean, he would be more than willing to do anything.
Yeah, I don't think he's hurt himself in. He just murdered whoever found out. Oh man,
Oh gosh.
it can't be as destructive as Thomas Wayne. Let me.
On a side note, I recently picked up Arkham Knight, and I'm very excited to play it at some point
Oh,
because it
did
looked
you?
like the only Arkham game that actually like appeals to me.
Why? Why the only one?
Well, I've watched playthroughs of the other ones, but I feel like the scope for this one was much bigger, and you get to fight more people.
It is. I mean, Arkham Asylum is relegated to only Arkham Asylum, hence the name, right? Arkham City wasn't the whole city. Arkham City was a section, like a subsection of Gotham that was basically walled off and made into just a bigger prison where you could go outside more, right? And even in Origins, there's only certain parts of Gotham that you get to traverse. Arkham Knight is not only all of Gotham, but there's also more characters available to play as, and the Batmobile, the one piece that was missing to actually be Batman, like fully actually get to be fully actually get to be Batman, was the car. I mean, yeah, there's the Batwing. Maybe I want to fly a jet around, but like that was the one thing really missing was the Batmobile, and they gave you that.
Yeah, it, more of like a bat tank in Arkham Knight.
I
But
mean,
I'm looking forward to getting jump scared by what is it? The
Man
bat
Bat,
creature,
Man Bat,
man
yeah,
bat.
it's an
Man,
incredible part.
what a creative name.
I mean, they Batman was already taken, so I think another thing about Arkham Knight that really hits me is like the long Halloween. Like it's literally happening on Halloween. You have like a good amount of the rogues gallery to contend with. Everybody has their own individual storylines that ties into the thing as a whole. Each different villain has different ways to take them down. Not just take them down, like different ways to deal with them. Like there's one that's just a complete murder mystery that where you actually do real investigations. There's one where it's a chase. There's ones where you do more fighting. There's ones that's based off infiltration, and then the
And
DLC
then
for the
there's the
game.
Riddler.
And then there's the Riddler, which I'm not gonna lie, f that Riddler stuff. But then the DLC is more substantial than probably any other superhero game, barring Spider Man. And probably even more. No, it's more substantial than Spider Man. And keep in mind, Spider Man gave you every movie suit so far, right? So did Batman, and Batman has a longer history of movies. So, and they gave you either the exact Batmobiles from the movies or variations of them. For example, you could be Adam West Batman in an Adam West inspired Batmobile, or you can
Oh,
be, yeah, or you can be the Christopher Nolan Batman in the actual Tumbler from that movie, the exact Batmobile, not like a different version. Um, you can be Michael Keaton, 1989 Batman, in the exact same Batmobile, or you can be the Batfleck, same suit, same car. And that's
nice.
I don't know. That's really it's intriguing to me to literally be able to be any Batman I decide to be, including versions from the comics. So I think you can be Thomas Wayne Batman. You can be Justice League 3000 Batman. Something like the variety of suits is so vast, and they are all like it's not like Spider Man where they do different things. You don't get a different power for every suit. So Spider Man's got the one up in that, but just the fact that you can be the Batman from Batman Year One, or they did like a Batman anime, and you have that suit, and it's insane how many different versions you can be, and how well made every suit is in the game.
But can I be Teen Titan Batman?
Can you? I don't think so.
No. Well, so much for a conclusive collection, you know?
Only thing that would make it more fire though is if they did what Spider Man did, because with Spider Man, every time the movie released, you got a new suit. So No Way Home dropped, you got Night Monkey, and you got like the No Way Home suit. Far From Home released, you got the Far From Home suit along with the Tobey Maguire, and I think both versions of the Andrew Garfield suit, if I'm not mistaken. I know you at least got one of the Andrew Garfield suits. Um, I don't know, man. It's interesting because
Yeah.
they really went deeper than they had to. Pause.
Yeah. And another thing, just to quickly note, is I think Arkham Knight has aged better than the other ones. I mean, naturally because it came out the most recently, but
Better
I
than
mean,
the
still,
Batman games.
I'm not a graphics. Well, I mean, as I've seen with, I think it was Asylum I was watching a playthrough of, it just kind of looked aged. I mean, again, I'm not the graphics junkie. I played Oblivion for fun, you know, so I'm used to people looking like clay, but I think for this particular kind of game, it definitely suits it more.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, you're right. Even though Asylum looked amazing for the time, it was bound to age. It's like a whole generation and a half behind. Because I do believe in half generations PlayStation Pro. Um, like it's a whole half generation and a half behind. And on the other side of that, I don't know. I think Arkham Knight, yes, it is the most recent, but even for the time, like look at the other games that came out around that time. The Witcher 3 released, which was an amazing looking game, but I gotta say Arkham Knight aged much better. And what else released around that time? I'm not about to look that shit up, but you get what I'm saying. And Arkham
It
Knight,
was 2015, so the one I know is that the very first EA Battlefront, which looks pretty, but it was a terrible game. But I digress.
yeah, graphically it was amazing looking. I mean, EA always has good graphics, but yeah, I'm not gonna go on an EA rant today.
Gameplay,
Nah, but for real, it aged very well. Like, and I don't just mean graphically. Like the designs aged well. Like that scarecrow is nasty. Like that, I can't get over how nasty that scarecrow is. The actual Arkham
yeah.
suit, like the actual bat suit like made for that game with all the different joints in it, and like it's clearly inspired other stuff. That's
Oh
it.
man, I like how they made Joker.
Oh
He's all
man,
like
like nasty looking. Like
I don't know what the word would be, but yeah,
you can see the progression. His dermatologist is livid at him, but you can see the progression from the first game here.
it doesn't hurt that it's also Mark Hamill.
Oh man, and that's the best part. The best part about the Arkham games to me, like the very best part, is the acting, and that the all the roles are reprised from the Batman animated series actors. So Mark Hamill is already a great actor, but his Joker is impeccable, and he's the best. I don't care, fight me. He's the best Joker. Um, and
I'd
so
agree with you.
yeah, I think he is the best Joker across all forms of media, like across all mediums. He's the greatest Joker. And then Kevin Conroy's Batman, his voice is Batman. Like you, it's I don't know what it is. It's like yes, it's the deep tone in his voice, and then there's also like the texture of it. Like I can't do it. Like I want to try and do an impression, but I'm not about to embarrass myself. But the texture of that
What he's
voice is
got
perfect.
like the grit.
Yeah, it's like oh my goodness, like he is Batman, and the best Bruce
But
Wayne.
what about Nolan? I'm gonna take it out over the bridge.
No, I think the second best Batman voice, if we literally are only talking about Bat voices, the second best voice is Ben Affleck. Like I think
Really,
yeah,
I would have put Adam West there at second place.
that voice changer, like the voice mod, like it's. I think think about who Batman is. That makes the most sense. You don't want people to use voice recognition on you and be like, oh, that's Bruce Wayne. Nah, you are going to modify your voice in some way, and you'll never be able to actually
That's
see the
right.
thing that's modifying it. And like then the fear thing means as much. Okay, so in the Arkham games especially, they play on you being a predator. They play on you being like the stealthy thing, you being the thing that goes bump in the night. And while you know what you're doing, like you know what moves you're making, the criminals are terrified. It might as well be Candyman after them, right? Um, and it just makes the most sense that as Batman, your voice would also reflect that thing that goes bumping in the night. Like your voice, you would
Yes.
sound like something to be afraid of.
In case in point for that being the case, Arkham Knight, what's his name? The actual, namestay. Is it Arkham Knight
Yeah, it's
or
the Arkham
the
Knight.
Knight or whatever? You're yeah. He does that. Bruce, he doesn't figure out who it is until the helmet comes off.
Yeah, because he has the voice mod on, and it's like just the whole "Do you bleed?" That's oh my god! Like how what kind of normal human could threaten Superman and actually sound imposing? Like be real, no.
The Red Sun Batman.
Exactly,
Maybe it's the
but it's
accent
still
though.
Batman. Man, a Russian accent. Like you sound like you can whoop some ass just by virtue of having a Russian accent. You could be the weakest person on earth.
Yeah,
If you have a Russian accent, you can sound like you
I
snap
am
a
the Man.
neck. Okay, so here's
But hi, Bram, in the chat. Welcome.
hey Prim, what's good with you? All right, so here's another one. I guess we'll stay within the DC universe. Um, how evil is Lex Luthor compared to the Joker? And I'll read what they
I have
said.
no idea.
I'll read what they said. So they say
All right.
Lex Luthor is a saint compared to the Joker. Lex Luthor hates Superman for two reasons. One, with an unidentified alien, when an unidentified alien just emerged in his city, Lex is the only one who sees him as a possible threat. So began to trying to take him down before he betrayed anyone, which it's paranoid, but not entirely evil, right? Two, before the Man of Steel came into Metropolis, thanks to hard work and commitment, Lex Luthor became the most successful businessman in the city. Just as he had begun making a name for himself, a new costume superhero emerged, being considered the savior of the city, thus taking the limelight from Luthor. So I guess what they're trying to say is, like his grudge. He's not entirely evil. He just has a strong grudge against Superman specifically. Uh, you think they make a
Hmm.
case for his whole grudge against Superman, or you think they make a good case for um, him having a good reason to be Superman's villain and like why he does what he does.
Well, uh, granted, I'm not well versed in superheroes. You would have never have thought that with what I was talking about with Batman, but as soon as you talk about anybody other than Batman, it really just trails off. But going purely off of the description that you've laid out, and then knowing what I do know about Joker. I can say that he's probably like the lesser of the two evils here, because as you also may remember from our space episodes, aliens, like extraterrestrials, you can't trust them, and so being very suspicious of the boy wonder looking to save the day. Maybe he has ulterior motives. So, completely justified.
Hmm. Oh, I need to look this up. Okay, so here's a couple facts about Batman. Since Batman is the one you know more about, and the character that you're more comfortable with, we'll go on and talk about a couple facts about Batman outside of the suit. This is more about Bruce Wayne than Batman. Um, he began training to become Batman at 14.
Really?
He was 14 when he started.
How old how old was he when we get to see his parents get oofed?
Um, I want to say like 8, something like that. In between 8 and 10.
Oh, okay.
Like I can't remember off the top of my head, but like most things portray him as around 8 years old at the time.
Okay. So he had time to like see the world, visit the Eiffel Tower first before dedicating his life to crime fighting.
I mean, he probably wasn't doing that. He just saw his parents died in front of him at a very young age, so he's probably mourning for a very long time. And
Are
he's
you sure
probably
it's
still
not
mourning.
the seeing the globe first?
I mean, maybe in the Wayne Manor study, like maybe spinning that mug around. Like, who's thinking about going to Paris and like kissing bitches with baguettes and shit? Like, and your parents just died in front of you. I mean, but yeah, he did start his training at 14.
You've just inherited millions.
Like, he never drinks alcohol except once, and that was when Jason Todd died, which makes
Oh,
sense. That was his second Robin.
you hate to see it.
Yeah, like I get it. He can speak more than 40 languages. Yeah,
Really?
which makes sense. I mean, here's the thing I didn't know as far as like the lore of DC overall in relation to Batman. Um, he actually owns the Daily Planet. Like,
The Daily Planet.
if Superman
Isn't
pissed
that
him
the
off,
Superman newspaper?
yes, that's the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
Like based out of Metropolis, that Superman's alter ego, Clark Kent, actually works for. So if Superman pissed him off, he could actually just fire him, and like you can be Superman all you want to. You can fly around and have all these powers. You still need money. You still need a job to live in the real world. So like Batman still has that over you. That's insane to think about. Like if they ever really fought, or if Superman actually like decided to snap, unless you finna go murder the whole world, Batman could just fire you. You still need your job.
Well, funnily enough, that's not how it plays out in Injustice.
But then injustice is different circumstances though. I mean, how would you act if somebody just like if somebody murdered your wife and unborn child, I mean, of course you would snap, man.
Well,
Like,
I
what's that
mean,
job matter at that point?
yeah, I'd Will Smith him.
Mm, you can't do that when I'm drinking. No. Oh no. Damn. See, this is where we gotta end it right here, cause hell no.
What did
Hell
we
no.
come up with last time they put us together? The views and comments made by individuals do not represent Level 1 as a whole.
Oh man. Hey man, say that's messed up. And we had just about an hour, man. You think this is a good point to end it? Cause hell no. Like, oh man,
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie. Like, listen,
uh,
let me go ahead and say this before we get out of here. Like, the views and opinions expressed by Johnny Man and I do not necessarily reflect those of Level 1 Gaming or its
no.
leadership. So it literally just happened. You know what though? I don't have any sympathy for Chris Rock because entertainment is entertainment and comedy is comedy. But in what world is that more important than your household and your family? And if
No,
somebody
you're
close to
quite
you is
right.
going through something, like I'm okay, so I was raised off that, off throwing hands, right? Like it took me a while growing up to unlearn going straight to throwing hands, like when you feel disrespected or when something happens, right? When somebody does something to you. So I can kind of speak to the level of restraint that Will must have had in only slapping him. You know what I mean? And all you did was slap him once and give him a warning. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Like that takes a certain level of restraint to have only stopped there. So I get it, and like, this your family, man. You got to do what you got to do. Like you got to shoot the warning shot. But it was
No,
a hilarious.
absolutely.
It was a hilarious warning shot though. Like, oh man, Johnny. So yeah, too soon, but also I'm with you.
Chris Rock raises his hand. He hit me.
Oh, and he handled it so gracefully. He was like, "Man, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me." He
What did he
literally
say? Like,
paused.
made my night or something, or best moment of my life or something. I didn't. I just watched the clip once. I didn't actually do a
Oh
deep dive
man,
into what happened.
I watched it a few times. I'm sorry. Oh snap! I was on the toilet when I saw it. I was just scrolling through Twitter, and like, I mean, maybe TMI. Sorry, but everybody shits, so whatever. And so obviously, I had time to just watch it about 80 times. Oh man, and you
Oh
right,
man.
Flames. You could see he just wanted to close his fist for real. Like he said, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. And mind you, think about the set. This is the Academy Awards. This is the most prestigious event in movies, right? And so, and for you to even let a bad word fly out of your mouth is one, like, that's already, people think that's the most unheard of thing. Just think about a couple years ago, the most unheard of thing on an award show was the game director of A Way Out going fuck the Oscars. That was the worst thing that
Oh,
happened on at an award show. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like inappropriate, I'm doing giant air quotes when I say this. As far as inappropriate moments go, that was like the worst thing that people thought had happened. And then he said he
hey,
had that on repeat. Me too. Nah, like real stuff. I
see,
feel like he deserved it. Watch what you
you
say
know,
about people.
okay, okay. Tinfoil hat time.
Okay.
You know, if you really want to think about it, we could place the blame not on Chris Rock for an bad taste joke, but on Kimmy K. And now that may seem very random, but allow me to explain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kanye has not been himself lately. He could have been there to intercept Will. Now I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh no.
But, oh
Johnny
man,
got bars,
I
man.
I don't know what he'd say after that.
Johnny got bars. I'm not even gonna lie. Like Johnny, I don't know why you're not a rapper because you would have the most fire mixtape of all time because your lyrics, man.
No,
But yeah,
I'm cut
like
out for audiobooks, not mixtapes.
I mean, when you just think about the fact that Will Smith has been like the poster boy for simp for almost a year now, right? He's been the poster child for just kind of you can't really. He's been the poster child for like dysfunctional marriage. When he went
Oh,
instantly from being the poster child for the relationship goals. Like he was that at first, and then went directly downhill to being like the simp poster child and being basically the man that you think of first when you think about dysfunctional marriage, right? He been the laughing stock of the
Uh-huh.
world. Um, and the whole world knows what his wife did with some R&B singer, which is crazy because she could have chose like Trey Songz or Usher or somebody, and it had to be all. It was that's weird, but he was the laughing stock of the world for a while in the black community and the actor community, whatever, right? And he just let that slide. He let that go, and it wasn't even his, like, you right, Flames. It wasn't even his fault. He didn't do anything wrong, and he became the laughing stock of the world. And he took it in stride. He just let it be. He just it still had his wife's back. And y'all married, so I get it. If you're not gonna divorce, then you ain't got no choice but to have each other's backs, and y'all are one. And maybe that's something that they agreed to that the rest of the world just don't understand. And so him and his wife might have been solid the whole time, and we just don't get their dynamic, right? But to go from, think about all the pent up frustration that he must have had, and that must have been the last straw. That had to have been the last straw. I don't care where I'm at. I don't care, how y'all think I should act. Listen, I've been good this whole time. I am Mr. Nice Guy. He literally had a song called Mr. Nice Guy, where he dissed Wendy Williams. That's neither here nor there. He's the poster child for Nice Guy. He's been a poster child for a few different things throughout his life. He is still one of the most prolific people in show business, like the most successful rapper turned actor, and one of the first, if not the first, rapper turned actor to become successful. And what else did you expect him to do? Did you expect that he wouldn't snap at some point? And he didn't snap. It was tasteful. He knew what he was doing. He just had to flex a little bit. What you gonna do to him? You gonna sue him? He got too much money. You gonna make him not? You gonna like blacklist him? Like you gonna blackball him? He's Will Smith. Like, what are you gonna do to him? Nothing. So he had plenty of room to do whatever the hell he wanted at the Academy Awards. And so you think you just gonna disrespect him and get away with it? Come on now. And he looking right at you. He's standing right in front of you, and you gonna disrespect his wife and get away with it? Come on now, be for real. You deserve what you got.
No, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. So he wasn't wrong.
No, you're quite right. No, no. I, you know, uh, but where there's great tragedy also comes great comedy, as a wise man once said.
Yeah. And that wise man was probably Johnny.
No, actually, it wasn't. It was actually my professor who taught me my comedy class.
You had a see, I'm not even surprised. With great power comes great responsibility, Johnny, and I think you're responsible for making this show funny.
It was easier than philosophy. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, you took philosophy. Oh, that's we gotta talk. It's gonna be a fun conversation. Um, you know what though? This has been fun, y'all. But I think we're gonna dip out because I want to play Elden Ring. So you know what I think I'll do? I think I will go chill in like a little while. I'll go chill in the level 1 game in Discord. And if y'all want to hang out and coach a man on Elden Ring, I'd be more than happy to have you. I think we should hang out a little more, just as people who like to chill out on level 1 gaming. As my level 1 people, we don't really have a name for like the level 1 people yet, but we'll get one. I think we should hang out
We're
more
a community, dang it.
as the level 1 community. We should just hang out more, and we used to do that, and I think it's partially my fault. So I'm a chill after a while in the level 1 game in Discord, and I hope y'all will join me, man. We're gonna be playing Elden Ring. We're gonna be talking shit, and we're gonna be saying all the stuff that we couldn't say live, like we haven't
Oh,
said enough. We're gonna say all the stuff we couldn't
yeah.
say
If you
live.
thought my one joke was too much,
It's about to be level 1 gaming after dark, man. That being said, hey, we appreciate you, Prim. I'm glad you came through at all. You came through
oh
in the
yeah,
last 3 minutes. If you popped up when I said bye, I still appreciate you popping up, man. For real. I appreciate you, Flameser, man. You always been a real one. That being said, it's Dallas, man, of Level 1 Gaming, here with the bro Johnny, man. You got any closing remarks, man?
yes. Since Baron's not here to stop me, long live the Empire, reject the lies of the elves.
Oh no. Like, let's go. All right, on that note, man, we appreciate y'all. Peace.